As Mother's Day approached amidst a pandemic, I thought of the calming touch and unconditional love of a mother for her children. It was 9 years ago, exactly to the day, that my mother said goodbye to us. I can only imagine how she would have responded to the challenges brought forth by the coronavirus. She was born in 1917, the year the influenza epidemic began. She was too young to experience the challenges of that public health crisis, but was a child during the Great Depression and a young adult during World War II. We heard lots about those days, and no matter what difficulty we encountered, we were reminded that it wasn't as bad as those times. Before she met my father, she worked as the switchboard operator at the Norwood Hospital. She was unable to go to college, but had she done so, I am certain that she would have become a physician. We grew up in the days that David Halberstam recounted in his book, The 50s. There were great mothers on our street. I've changed the names to protect others' mothers from my memory. Mrs. Kanan was disabled and wheelchair-bound, but never acknowledged any limitations placed on her. She drove her children around in a car that she had enabled. She was a stalwart of courage. Mrs. McCain gave out apples on Halloween, never our favorite. Mrs. Gore smeared her son in mud when he stood on a nest of wasps. Her voice always reverberated throughout our neighborhood. Mrs. Humboldt had her daughters reading Little Women and playing the piano practically before they could walk. And Mrs. Tuck, she ran out to the street and banged pans together when our dogs decided to undertake an amorous encounter. Each of these mothers was the best. Life was simpler then. Play dates were arranged by the kids. Dinner was at 5:30 every night. Fish sticks on Friday and Franks and beans on Saturday. And the entire family ate together. The roast was served at 1 p.m. on Sunday. We were very hungry when we got home from delivering the Sunday papers. My mother and father worked together in a small store in our town. She ran the business, and he supported her with his affability. I have no idea how they afforded everything that we needed, but they did. There was a just-get-it-done attitude in those days. We came to appreciate this fully much later in life. When our father died of a brain tumor while I was in college, my mother never flinched. The store had been sold by then, so she got a job at a local business in town and made the most of every day. He said it would be okay for her to marry again, although he said he'd be jealous if she did. But she never did, as she focused on putting my 2 younger brothers and me through college and serving the needs of our families. The day I graduated from medical school, my mother found me in the line before the procession. I was a bit ruffled that she had made the way to that staging area, and when I asked her why she was there, she told me that she had come to tell me that my father would have been proud to see that his son had become a physician. She was too, and I've never forgotten that moment. In her later years, she watched our children as they grew, and she and Mary Ellen had a marvelous relationship, the greatest gift ever given to me by my wife. In the final weekend of her life, our entire family gathered around her bed to say goodbye. Her breathing was labored and she was very tired. But in a wonderful moment of happiness, she opened her eyes, saw us all there, and began singing. I'll be loving you always, with a love that's true always. Now, in a millennial moment, her 7 grandchildren got the lyrics on their phones, and all of us sang along with her. Days may not be fair always. That's when I'll be there, always. Not for just an hour, not just for a day, not just for a year, but always, always. I was thinking, as we approached Mother's Day, what true meaning those words bring. In these difficult times, mothers have been called upon to do so much more, caring for children and balancing work with the needs of their families. Many are leaving their families to care for those affected by COVID-19. And when they return home, there's an uneasiness and caution that accompanies their every step. Even so, mothers are bringing calm amidst the chaos. And as always, they're placing others above themselves. Many spent their first Mother's Day without their mothers. The coronavirus has taken many mothers from their families. Others have been lost to other infirmities and advanced age. A tinge of sadness embraced those for whom that was true. I would encourage them to remember the thoughts their mothers would speak. Mine would say, first you have to want to, then you can. Put a nickel in your pocket. You'll never know when you'll need it. And her favorite, call your brothers. If you weren't able to be with your mother, she would understand. If you were able to be with her, you were lucky, and I hope you made the most of the visit. If your mother has left us, remember and be comforted by her unbridled love for you. Let me end with this thought. Every mother I know would tell her children that we will get through tough times, these tough times. They would comfort us by smiling, holding our hands or patting our backs. They might read us a story at bedtime, make us a meal, give us a call, send us a text, or perhaps just send a smile emoji. We would know our mother was there for us no matter the difficulty. Better days are ahead. It may take a while, but a mother's hope springs eternal with that truth. I am grateful for the wisdom and hope my mother gave to me. No virus can stop us from celebrating the importance of mothers in our lives. I thank my mother and all mothers for their calm in times of trouble. The most meaningful and enduring gift we can give our mothers is always to communicate and share our love for them.